manager of Axiom. So just a smidge of credibility for the wonderful woman who runs, created, and hosts this tournament for us every single week. So a big thank you to her. But game number 2 of the semifinals, spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map. Down 1 at the moment after a very risky opener in this best of 5. It's Axiom's Impact.
Yep, right. As the red Zerg, it's Solar.
I would love for Solar to try and pay him back the kindness of an early pool. But Shakura's Plateau is a weird map, man. Normally we talk about this map and start analyzing for Terran because, you know, Reapers and all that, but I don't know, like the third base on this map is usually the other half of the map, or it's near home, but really far away and exposed. So for ZVZ, a matchup that classically goes 3 bases, lots of roaches, I mean, I really don't know how this is going to play out because the base layout is so awkward.
It is awkward. I can't even remember what they were doing when this map was in here.
I'm positive this one wasn't in Heart of the Swarm, so.
Yes, it was not. Definitely was not. I don't know. Were you playing or casting? I don't think you would be casting. But you playing back when it was the old version of Shakura's?
I was vaguely getting into StarCraft right now, so I probably played it once or twice, but then rage quit very quickly after.
Yeah, so you guys don't know, back when this like originally shown, there was rocks in your main that you could break down, and you were also it also was allowed to be horizontal spawns.
Oh yeah, north
So you
to
could
south,
see the
yeah.
problem with that, right? With like
Yeah.
tanks. It wasn't necessarily the funnest game, but back then you were also supposed to only be on like 1 or 2 bases, and that like 2 bases like a macro game, guys. Like wow, the game lasted so long, 15 minutes. Oh no, but I have no idea how the CVZ is gonna play out in Heart of the Swarm.
Well, I am really interested in the prospect of possibly taking these middle bases even protected by the rocks.
Oh,
depending
I don't
just
know.
how far this goes, right? Because I feel like with the talent of the players that are in this match right now, combined with the weirdness of this map, this is either going to be a short game or a long game. I don't imagine it's going to be that in-between game.
God, I can't imagine it's going to a long game though. Like I really can't see the base being taken to the north and also to like the side of Impact, for instance. Like it's gonna look weird. I do recall a lot of games that lasted a very long time. If you can survive, it's a very good like split map scenario. You know, it's symmetrical down the line, but that doesn't happen that often.
Well, a couple lanes going to get over here to scout. Of course, jumping up to the main, what could he possibly see? Solar pulls off of gas, and well, not fully. At least one lane on, but he'll be able to see the speed timing, or the speed's on the way. Unless he gets greedy and goes for a drone kill.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Goes for the scout. Impact going for no gas of his own. Now I think this is a pretty good build. Of course, the one downside of you not getting gas is that your third is later, but you're like so well defended against like 2 base attacks, and no one wants to get a third on this map because it is awkward. And I think it is the better option. And of course, there are variations of the gases build that means that you can all in off of it or get your own speed eventually.
So a question asked in chat, where are the intros for all these Dream Pool maps, guys? Believe it or not, I've actually been working with Flam to make a couple, and we're only ever going to be able to run them for like 3 tournaments at max, because I think this Dream Pool is supposed to go in January, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll have a couple we can have for funsies. I'm not putting too much dedication into it, because again, we're only going to have it for like another week or 3, but...
Impact's getting very regular stuff. Solar has also had really good scouting, so he knows that he can take a much faster third. Does take the one out here, which I think is the normal one.
It is
it's
such a weird, like...
I think Solar wasn't a Brood War player, was he? I mean, he probably played Brood War, but I don't think he's on Samsung Galaxy for like Brood War Pro League, for instance. I'm just asking because I wonder if he was playing StarCraft 2 when these maps were out.
So that is actually a big point. For those who weren't around back then, there was this big debate with a lot of Kespa players even coming over from Brood War to play StarCraft 2. And we're talking Wings of Liberty, of course, not Heart of the Swarm. There's a lot of players who very well may have never actually seen these maps prior to this map pool.
2012.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have been Solar's take or not, but what I do like is Solar is kind of one of these players who, I think if he was Terran, we'd see a lot of MMA in him. You know, like he's a guy who's pretty good at playing to the map. He knows the strengths and weaknesses and where to abuse terrain. So he may have never, maybe it's the first time ever he sees this map. I don't know, but I doubt he comes into this like unprepared.
Of course, these guys have been playing on the map pool.
Have they
ladder.
though? Like you have to wonder. There's so many pros who are just like table flipping done with it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, well, I think less so about like with Koreans, which is odd because like you think Koreans practice with each other more, but it's actually not necessarily true. A lot of them do say that they just purely the ladder is their practice. And you know, as far as streams go, I don't see anyone just absolutely refusing to play on the stream pool.
Game resumed.
You know, Impact is getting his own speed. He's not getting a second upgrade. I don't think that's on. Maybe it is. He's getting so many lings, and speed is well, it's close to finishing. So this is that variant where like I mean, you can kind of fake them out by saying I'm going gasless, I'm not gonna attack you, and then that's exactly what you do. You get a lot of lings and you attack them with speed. And Solar does not have anything to really deal with this. These roaches coming out are not going to be enough. Even if they're in good position, you can still surround the hatchery and kill it.
Well, the roaches are not quite at that vulnerable point where there's so little of them. He's going to lose a couple, but there's more than enough to hold this defense. Impact is still flooding with lings, though, and that is a lot of lings. As long as Solar fights with his back against the wall and in a clump, he should be okay-ish. But this is still going to be a pretty tight fight, because there's a big surround of these lings going down, and the roaches, while they're spawning out like this, yeah, going to push this back.
I don't know about Impact's decision to go ahead and try and attack the roaches. He could have attacked the third, and I'm pretty sure it could have gotten it, even if it would have cost him all those lings. It's better than like taking down no roaches. He could have gone into the main or natural. Now he has to worry about Solar's counterattack. Well, maybe not. Solar just retreats.
Yeah. To answer the question again, because part 2, I normally wouldn't be so hard on this or quick to answer, but a lot of the old intros did not have copyright-free music back in the days of old for Base Trade TV. It wasn't until I think 2013, the end of 2013, we started going with like purely copyrighted music because we wanted to not get in trouble. Because that's also the same time we got partnered. What do you know?
Impact, that attack could have been so much worse. I mean, it should have done something. Bought time, killed a couple of queens, killed a third ideally, but I didn't notice Impact took this third instead of
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying before. Like, your third's going to be awkward no matter where you take it. It's either really far and exposed over here, or you take it really far northwards. Always just a bit awkward, nonetheless.
Yeah.
But, you know, dive into that roach game. Mid-game, as it is, bit awkward for him, but gets stuck on a wall or a tree or whatever that was. Mid-game is here, and this might be where it ends. I mean, Solar's got such a large roach supply. It's at that point where I don't even know if Defender's advantage for Impact is going to cut it. He doesn't have enough, or really any spine crawlers down. Even with a concave at the top of a ramp scenario, I don't think he'd take a fight. So I'm loving what he's doing with these lings. He's not looking to like necessarily get game-ending damage, but he's keeping Solar at home. He's buying all the time in the world to get his roach count up to where it needs to be to take a feasible engagement.
I mean, he's trying, but, you know, until they're both maxed out, he's always going to be at a disadvantage. Just, you know, and if he can buy enough time for both of them to be maxed out, that's fantastic, but unlikely.
I'm surprised these lings haven't all been picked up at this point, too. The amount of times they've run by these roaches, the amount of bile spits they've taken. But, yeah, so now we look at that roach count once again, reassessing it. It's still massively in the favor of Solar, but now Impact's got a spine crawler down. He's got a small chance to take a fight, but I do want to stress it's small because that roach count is just so hard to look at. 53 over 30.
Yeah. He does have the upgrade advantage. +1 did just finish, as well as, well, he did have a little bit of an arc, but that's just an overwhelming roach count.
Yeah, it's a real shame the spine crawler went down immediately, like before the roaches even got a blast off out of Impact. He lost his greatest part of the defense, but despite the spread, despite the control, despite those upgrades, Solar just has too many units, too many roaches, and good game's going to be called. Solar will take the series 2-0. Or not series, it's a best of 5, not a best of 3, I take that back.